So today we're going to be taking a closer look at Google's cloud gaming service Stadia. Now my first impressions of Stadia in 2019 was that it was going to be this revolutionary gaming experience. Kind of like Netflix, but for gaming. I mean, imagine just subscribing to one service and then you have access to all the games you wanted without needing a console or any setup. I mean, I was legit sold. So obviously I gave them my money and I was ready to start playing all the games they had teased and advertised. But that's when all the problems started. You know what they say, all men do, expectations are the thief of joy. Anyways, it's been almost 2 years since Stadia was released and Google has fixed and addressed a lot of issues I and a lot of other people were having. And also we now have more realistic expectations of what Stadia is and what it can do. So here's to giving Stadia a second chance. But first, run that intro. It's been almost 2 years and we still find ourselves asking the question, what exactly is Stadia? So simply, it's Google's attempt at saying you don't need a PS5, Xbox or any console, they'll handle all the processing for you. All you need is a screen, a controller and a good internet connection. So here's how it works. There are two ways to interact with the Stadia service. The base version is free and you can literally make an account right now and the only thing you need to pay for are the games you want to play. Or you can subscribe monthly at $8.99 for Stadia Pro, which would give you access to a couple of free games and also discounts on certain game titles. It's kind of like PlayStation Plus. It also allows you to play games at up to 4K 60 FPS as against the base version which is capped at 1080p. All that is pretty impressive to be honest, but the real question is, what is the gaming experience like and how does it compare to consoles? So yesterday night I paid for Stadia Pro and I tried a couple of the free games that came with it. And honestly, I was quite impressed. Compared to the slow and chunky feel I remember in 2019, Stadia in 2021 feels a lot more refreshing. The games are a lot more responsive and there's now a wider array of games to choose from. One thing to note however is your gaming experience still heavily relies on your internet connection. I was using my house Wi-Fi which averages about 50 to 60 MB per second and I was still getting the occasional frame drop and input lag on more intensive games like Grid. I mean, it was playable but it was definitely something I noticed. However, with some other games I almost forgot I wasn't playing on a console. It was so smooth and responsive, I genuinely enjoyed it. And this takes me to my next point. Who is Stadia made for? Honestly, I thoroughly enjoyed playing Stadia yesterday. It reminded me of my childhood when I just used to play games casually for fun. And I think that's the real target market for Stadia. Casuals. People who aren't really interested in investing a lot of time into gaming. They just want something that's there whenever they need it and will do the job. And to be honest, Stadia does that. So it makes more sense for them to buy whatever game they're interested in and play whenever or wherever they want to on Stadia, rather than them investing £400 in a console they'll rarely ever use. On the other hand, if you're someone who plays competitive Call of Duty, Apex or FIFA, then Stadia might not be for you. I can already imagine being in the final circle of a Warzone game and that's when Stadia decides to drop frames or have input lag. I'd actually lose my mind and break whatever device I was playing on. So maybe that's why Stadia doesn't have games like Call of Duty and Apex, because they know that that's just not the platform for players like that. So yeah, in conclusion, if you're a casual gamer and you're not looking to invest in a console, then Stadia might be the perfect service for you. It's light and fun and doesn't require much upfront cost to get started. On the other hand, if you're a competitive gamer, you probably want to steer clear of Stadia for now. Ideally, the technology would mature to that level someday, but for now, you probably just want to stick to your console or PC. But yeah, that's it for today's video. Please let me know your thoughts on Stadia in 2021 and if you've actually ever used it. And yeah, like and share this video with anyone you think would be interested in Stadia. And if you're new here, I make fun tech content, so please consider subscribing. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. But until then, you know the vibes. Stay light and stay jiggy. Safe.